Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, Harry. Let's see, how do I put this up? Good morning, Nunzio. Oh, you're about to pass out? All right, well, you have a good day sleeping. Good morning, Casa. How's everybody like the new time? Is the new time good? Dagmar, good morning. Hey, Vegas Joker, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying a new time. I don't know. I like 6 o'clock, but I wanted to know that it might be too early, so I wanted to try 7 o'clock. Um, we'll just see how it works out. We'll see how it goes. But welcome everybody. Hope everybody. Hey, LaPuffy. Yeah, you got to catch a live. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Um, the weather's been kind of dreary here. It's warm and humid. Last night it got a little cool, but the weather is going crazy here. So it's supposed to be in the 80s this week and then back down, getting cold again. So it's all over the place. And that's how Louisiana is. It's never really one set like we hit winter and we just go cold all the time. No, it's not like that. Good morning, Harry. Good morning. You're on your way to San Diego. Okay, little Puffy. And it's cold, huh? I'm going to be praying for you this week, girlfriend. Maybe you can catch us live since you'll be over there. Okay, Casa, you're at work, so you'll be in and out. That's fine, honey. Yes, this timing is good for you. Okay, Dagmar. Good. Well, you guys, I've got some things to talk about today. I want to go into talking about mental health. But first, I've got a couple of things that I would like to talk about um, that's been on the news. Um, so the other day, I don't know if everyone's heard this yet, but in North Carolina, in Moore County, the Duke Energy substation was shot up. Actually, somebody went in and actually took a gun and shot it up. And it took the power out. And there are now over 40,000 people without electricity. Okay? This would be like my whole city being out. So I wanted to talk about, what they're having to do. First, they don't know who did it. We'll say that. And we won't get into, the reasonings of, whatever. Who knows why people do shit like this. But, this is one of the reasons why I prep. Because you never know when the shit is going to hit the fan. When I say SHTF situation, that means shit hit the fan situation. You never know when the shit's going to hit the fan. And this is a prime example. This is a great example, matter of fact, of you never know. People say, oh, well, we have electricity, blah, blah, blah. Well, you never know when you're going to go in there and flip that switch on and the lights don't come on. So my question would be, what would you do? What would you do if you woke up tomorrow and your electricity is not coming on, and it's not going to come on for at least a week? These people, they have to get, these big pieces that come in there, and they have to rebuild all that stuff. So it's going to take up to a week for these people to get their electricity back on. So you got to think there's small businesses that are shut down. Your people are losing food, and it is cold. It is cold there. From what I understand, it's gotten down to 20, 30 degrees at nighttime. So my question would be to you guys, what would you do? Do you have a generator? Do you have food on the shelf? Do you have ways that you can cook? things of this nature. These are just some things to think about. This is the reason why we prep. I know I live on a homestead. Not everybody that lives on a homestead preps. And when I talk about prepping, I'm not just talking about prepping food. I'm talking about prepping in other ways, prepping to save money, prepping, like, take for instance, we winterized our home this winter. And since we have done that, just in 2 weeks, we have felt and seen a difference in the uh, warmth that stays in the house. Um, it's been amazing. I mean, just some of the things you could do, So, this would be scary, even for me, even for us who have prepped. And yes, we have a generator, but you have to understand a generator. You have to have gas to power that generator. So do you have gas that you've set aside? I mean, I know we do, but you have to understand that that's what we do. We prep. And so um and it takes time and it takes money to prep. This didn't happen overnight. This has taken, years for us to prep. Good morning, Chiffon. Good morning. You'd be fucked up, guys. Kaisa. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. What are some of the things that, you could do? Let's say, do you have plenty of blankets? Some people don't have plenty of blankets. Some people don't know how to can. And this is one reason why I really want to teach you how to can. This is a skill that anybody and everybody can have. And it's not just for a prepper. It's not just for someone that wants to prep and see, put back food. Um, but this is the perfect example because, take for instance, I'd be able to turn my generator on, or I could go out and light up my grill and put my cast iron skillet on there, or my cast iron pot, and I would be able to cook. I'd be able to take chili off the shelf. I'd be able to take meat off the shelf and put it in that pot, and I'd be able to cook it. Um, but not everybody has that. What if you live in an apartment? What if you live in a condominium? These are the things we have to think about. Good morning. Good morning, Gina. You'd be messed up as well, huh, Dagmar? See, I think even we, my household as preppers, it would be hard for even us. And so I can't imagine how hard it would be for someone who doesn't have the skills or the ability, to have, a generator that you can power up your house. And I don't even know much about generators. I'll let, Larry does all of that stuff for us. Me and Mom take care of the house. And your dad has a fireplace and lots of wood. That's an option. Yes, ma'am. That is a very good option. I'm glad you brought that up, Dagmar. That's another thing. If you do have, a fireplace, make sure you've got lots of wood. Make sure you've got lots of wood. Some people heat their home with their wood stove. I watch a prepper that has a wood stove, and she heats her home sometimes with the wood stove, which I would love to have, but we don't have room for it. See my coffee cup, guys? That's my son. That's my son right there. Yeah. So 40,000 people without power is scary. Think about the small businesses that are having to sit and protect their businesses because of looters. They have put a curfew in place. Now, I will talk about another thing. Hey, Elmer the intern. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, that's good, Gina. Another thing I will talk about is water. Water, water, water. This is something that everyone can do. Every time you go to purchase your groceries, just get you some water, or save your gallon jugs or whatever and fill them with tap water. That way you can flush your toilets. Save your water that you buy from the store for your drinking water, but put tap water back in jugs also so you can flush your toilet. People forget, or wash your dishes, or maybe you need to wash out some clothing of some sort. But that's another thing. um, have plenty of water. Water, food, and shelter is going to be the big thing. So I want to lift up the people that are in North Carolina. I want to lift them up and pray for them. I really hope that the people who are in charge can get this issue resolved as fast as possible. There are elderly people who are, on oxygen and things of this nature that we tend to forget about. Um, and you need electricity. And so I just want to lift them up and pray for that whole community and pray safety and peace, because I sure don't want to see any looting or anything crazy take place. But the sad thing is that, you put people in a situation like this and it gets very stressful and people start to panic because they don't know what to do. And so they start going outside of themselves to try to get what they want. And so you just have to really be careful of that. Good morning, Quick Vic. Welcome. I'm so glad you were able to join us. Something happened to your laptop. You don't know how to fix it. Okay, well, maybe you could call me later and we can talk about it. Yes, Elmer, that's what I was just oh yeah, lanterns would be good too. Yes. You keep a survival kit with batteries, blankets, food that doesn't need to, yes. That's really good, Elmer. That's another good thing. We have survival kits too. We have bug out bags, and yeah, we have plenty of blankets. We've got batteries. We've got matches. Make sure you know how to start a fire, things of this nature. Yeah, and let's lift up the people and hope that this comes to a very quick resolution. Hopefully it won't take a week, but we'll keep an eye on this situation and see what happens. To see how things fare over there. Yes, Elmer, that's another thing. That is good. I'm glad you brought that up. Keep a supply kit for your animals. If you've got animals, keep a supply kit for your animals. And remember, they need water too. And yes, they can drink from the tap, but what if you don't have no water? So, think about this, guys. This is something to really think about for all of us. This is all of us. This isn't just for a prepper or someone who believes in it or whatever. No, this is for all of us, because this could happen to any single one of us. We could wake up tomorrow and somebody shot out a substation and all of our power's out. What would you do? Good morning, Sue. Good morning. So we're talking about North Carolina and the substation that got shot, and it is now down, and they may not have power in that town for a week. So I was asking, what would you do? And some really good tips have come up. Elmer has said, keep a supply kit for your animals. We could have lanterns. You could have a generator. Make sure you have plenty of water. Make sure you have plenty of blankets. Have you a supply kit for if something like shit hits the fan happens. Yeah, it's a 20 degrees where you are? Wow, that's cold. It's supposed to be 69 here today. We've got a warm front coming through with some rain. And so it makes it real muggy and everything. Yes, Elmer, that's another good thing. Boy, you're right on top of this. You're good, girlfriend. It is important to keep your vehicles gassed up as much as possible in case you have to use the car to charge your phone. Not only that, but you can also keep, a bug out bag in your car. You can keep things for your animal. You can keep things in case you ever have to leave your house really quickly. It'll already be there and you can go. But yes, keep extra gas. Get you some gas cans and fill them up. We have gas cans, we have our supply of gas. Everybody has to do what you can do for what you need. February 2022. Yes, I remember this. Texas froze, no water, no power. We were hurricane prepared. I remember that, Gina. I sure do. Yes, keep a full propane tank for your gas grill. That's right. You've got 36 degrees today, Dagmar. Woohoo! It's frigid code. Code. Very, very good, Elmer. Me and you are on the same page here. You're helping me out. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we have you have to think about all your animals. I mean, Larry has set up a device. It's a really huge device where it catches all the rainwater and it goes in and filters in, and that way he can always have water for the chickens. So every time it rains, we get, fresh rainwater, and so our chickens will always have water. There's just different things that, we can do. I can tell you though, it would still be hard. It would still be hard. So, you'd have to ration your food, keep the refrigerator closed so it could, and hopefully you have a generator. It'd be hard to keep everything for a whole week. So I can't imagine. There's people that are on food stamps that buy their meals, monthly. If they lose everything, that they don't have nothing else for the month. This is a terrible, terrible situation. Elmer's mom is old and learned the necessity of planning for disaster and weather. There you go, Elmer. I remember your dog's name is Elmer. Yeah, maybe we can all go to Vic's place. It's definitely warming up there, especially this week coming. Okay, so next topic. This is also in the news, and this is going to be a hard topic. Good morning, I Heart Pink. Good morning. Welcome. So, who has heard about the incident that happened north of Fort Worth, Texas, in Paradise, Texas, on Wednesday afternoon? A FedEx driver kidnapped a 7-year-old Athena Strand from her front yard. And the 7-year-old was found murdered. The grandfather of the child has come out and said that, he feels like he has good and evil sitting on his shoulder, and as much as he wants to harm the man, like he said, put me in a cell with him and give me 5 minutes in a cell with him, but then in the same breath, he says he forgives him. So let's talk about this, guys. Let me see what Sue said. Years ago, when we had a deep freeze and the electricity went out, a coworker of mine took me to her place and stocked me up on candles to keep warm. Very good, Sue. That's another thing to have, and that's candles. Candles. Have plenty of candles, guys, and be smart with them. So this is. Let me pull this up. The grandfather says he forgives Monster, FedEx driver who abducted and murdered his 7-year-old granddaughter in Texas, after asking for 5 minutes alone in a cell with the psycho. Now, this guy was driving for FedEx, 31 years old, Tanner Horner, kidnapped a 7-year-old who was playing outside from her front yard. Now, this is, look, I have FedEx men and I have UPS men coming to my house all the time. This is scary. You think your children are safe. The postal man comes by, the FedEx man comes by. You think your child is safe. And you go and check and your child is gone. I can't imagine the feeling of that woman, because it was the stepmother, and apparently they got into a little spat, and the stepdaughter went outside, and then this happened. Yeah, it makes me wonder if all this horrible killing of children happened back in the day before electric and instant news. Yes, I believe it happened, Elmer. I just think now we're more apt to see it so quickly in the news. So quickly. So quickly. Thank you, Quick. I love you. I love you too. Bless your heart. Yeah, so you would never be able to forgive one who did something like this. This is something that, I'm going to be honest, I'm a very forgiving person. I have learned in my life that forgiveness is not about the other person. Okay. Forgiveness is about me and making sure I don't carry that bitterness and hatred in me, because that is a seed of bitterness and hatred, and it can grow within you, and you can become bitter, and you can become so angry because of unforgiveness that you have held on to, and you're actually hurting yourself versus hurting the other person. You're not hurting the other person. So forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's actually for you. Um, and I've studied a lot about forgiveness. Hey, Slap and Tickle. Good morning, baby. Yeah, this would be hard for me because I have a 9-year-old. I have a 12-year-old grandchild, a 9-year-old grandchild, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old grandchild. So I could not imagine. I mean, just thinking about it now makes me want to cry, because a 7-year-old is so naive. They don't understand. And so I can't imagine the fear that she felt. Um, and I can't imagine what the mother is feeling now, to have lost a 7-year-old child to a murderer. Um, and he came out and confessed. So why he did this, I don't know. Let me just warm that up a little bit. Hold on just a second, guys. Hold on just a second. Okay. Good morning, the Zubat lad. Am I saying that right? Yeah, Elmer, we used to teach our kids to run to the nearest adult if they are scared or in danger, and now that adult could be a devil. You're right. That's what I'm saying is that, you know, all the things that we have taught our children, we have to reteach them and the scary thing is that you can't trust anybody. Who can you trust? I mean, the only person you can trust is your closest family members. And the sad thing is that even then, um, these days you have to watch that shit too. Um, when I was in grade school in the 80s, the boy Adam was kidnapped and killed, and our grade school taught us about stranger danger. Yes, stranger danger, but think about this. What, Kaisa, what about, this guy is the FedEx guy. And so, and I remember that. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Adam. Gosh, goodness, I can't remember his. Oh goodness, what's his last name? His dad does the show. Um, yeah, you were so scared of strangers after that. And the sad thing is that, hey, surfing tangents. Good morning. Heck, as an adult, even I'm scared to go out in public as much as I used to. I look for exits. Yes, Elmer. This is something that I've always learned. My dad used to teach us this, and then of course I listened to some different preppers that teach this. Always keep your head on a swivel. Yes, Adam Walsh. That's it. Adam Walsh. Always keep your head on a swivel. Always know when you walk into a place where your exit is. These days we have to think about that. It's sad, but it is our reality. And so we need to just face reality and do what we need to do to protect ourselves. We need to remember this too, that it's hard to shoot at a moving target. If you are in a place where there is an active shooter, just remember it's hard to hit a moving target. And if your ass can crawl, then you better get your ass down there and start crawling or get the hell out of there somehow. Always do what your gut tells you. We were also told not to scream unless we were hurt or needed help. There's an elementary school across the street from me, and those kids scream their heads off when they are at recess. Yeah, so, and I'm just wondering, I mean, easily he could have gotten that little girl over there by saying something like, come look in the back of the truck. I have a package for you. I mean, and just that easy, he could have hit her and knocked her out and taken the little girl, which obviously that's what he did. It is an unforgivable act. It is an unforgivable act, and I'm going to say this. I can't say what I would do because I've never been put in that situation. I've been in a lot of situations to where people have not understood why I forgive, or maybe they don't understand why what they would think is overlooking something. But the way I see it is, I'm going to go with what the Spirit of God tells me to do and follow my heart. And this man is probably mentally ill, and this leads into really what today is about. Today is about mental health. Um, Monday, mental health. I want to talk about mental health. Yes, forgiveness is for us, Elmer. You're right. Forgiveness is all about us. Um, I've been in a lot of situations to where I've had things happen to me that were unforgivable. Um, but I learned early on, thank God, through my teaching and learning of the Word of God, and just through my relationship with my Father, that you know, Forgiveness is about me. It's about my heart and protecting myself, because when we don't forgive, that anger and that stuff stays in you. And a lot of times people can think, just because you forgive, they think that means you go back and you go into the situation again. But that's just not the case. I've been in a lot of situations where forgiveness, I forgave the situation, and I may be, go back in and still be friends with that person or whatever. But there's also been situations where I've had to just draw the line and say, I don't know, am I buffering? Is it just you, Dagmar, or is it me? Is it me, everybody? Hopefully not. But yeah, forgiveness is, sometimes where you just have to draw the line and you have to set that boundary and you have to let that person go. And I've done that a lot. So you always have to go. I mean, look, I've been in situations where I've forgiven and I went back and I got hurt again. I've forgiven, I went back and got hurt again. You know, a lot of times we even do this in marriage, because that's what marriage is all about. Marriage is a life commitment. It's not just about a piece of paper. This is about a life commitment outside of the piece of paper. And let me tell you, if you're married or if you're in a relationship, you better learn how to walk in forgiveness for the other person and for yourself. And you need to learn how to not set your expectations so high to where someone can't meet those expectations, because, that's a lot of the reason why we get in trouble, is because we have such a high expectation and we set this person on this pedestal. And then they don't meet that requirement that you believe they should meet. And man, that really messes you up and you get angry at them. And they don't even know why you're angry at them, right? So let's see what everybody's saying. I forgave because the anger was consuming and destroying my soul. Yes, Sophie. Anger will consume you. And that's what I was saying. It's a seed. It's a seed that is planted in there, and it will just, and that bitterness will just grow and grow, and it will start to show to everybody else, not just for that person that you didn't forgive, right? It'll show for everyone else. And it'll be harder for you to forgive others, just because you haven't exercised, that muscle of forgiveness. The word forgiveness was used against me years ago. It was used to keep me within arm's reach of an abuser. Now that forgiveness is for me, I look at it differently. Yes, I heart pain. Before, when I heard I needed to forgive, I would cringe because I couldn't. Made me feel like a bad person. You're not a bad person. Listen, there are a lot of people who are in situations right now where they feel, and their emotions have them feeling to where they can't forgive because what was done to them was so traumatic or so raw or so hurtful, right? And that's okay. You have to come to that place. Now, I will say this. I've been in situations a couple of times where I had to forgive on purpose. I had to forgive on purpose. Okay? This means that something happened and I was so angry about it that I had to go ahead and forgive on purpose just to get it out of the way, regardless of how I felt. The emotions will come, they will follow. It may take 6 months, it may take a year, but I would constantly speak, I forgave so and so. I'm over it. I'm done with it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to entertain it. And that's hard to do. It takes discipline. But don't feel guilty. Yeah, once you let that guilt leave, you were able to heal. Yes, healing comes. Yes, I've had anger consume me. I've had anger consume me too. I've been in a abusive relationship before. Um, I was in a relationship, that would have gotten worse had I stayed. Um, and I left that situation, and it took me years to forgive my ex-husband because, of course, at that time, I didn't understand all about forgiveness. Of course, I'm 49 now, and that was when I was 18, 19. And, it just took me a while to forgive him. And once I realized that forgiveness was about me and not him, then I was able to get over that. And it's good that I did because, it's hard to carry around unforgiveness for someone, especially when you have children by that person. I didn't want to project that onto my children ever. I didn't want them to ever uh, think or know that I had bad feelings about their natural father. They called Larry their daddy because he's their daddy and he's who raised them. But their natural father, still, I didn't want them to hear me talking bad about him because they came from him. And to this day, I never talked bad about them, and they made their own decision. They made their own decision. Let me look at the chat, y'all. What happened? I thought the chat died. Let's see. Sometimes you have to forgive yourself before you can forgive anyone else. That's right, Vegas Joker. Yeah. Yeah, and forgiveness for yourself too is tough. We are so hard on ourselves, aren't we? I mean, we will beat the shit out of ourselves. And then there's other people who never think at all that they need forgiveness or apologies for nothing, right? And those are the type of people that really get under my skin because I'm very empathetic, and I always want to be the one to, forgive first. That's just in my nature. But oh, you're welcome, Elmer. Working from home today and have a meeting. Thank you for the chat. Excellent topic this morning. Thank you, Elmer. And I have some more good topics coming up. I've done some research this weekend, and I think we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time, y'all. One of my daughters left an abusive marriage and is still dealing with the abusive ex in child custody. She gets drained because of all the emotions to make it happen. I am so sorry. I will be lifting her up. I'm very empathetic to that situation because, yeah, been there. My ex actually gave custody over to Larry, so I didn't have to worry about that at that, for us. But I have seen this happen many times. Have a great day, Elmer. Yes, we will be kind to one another. So, guys, forgiveness is, it's a hard topic to talk about, and we could talk about it for days because there's so many different things, so many different ways to forgive, so many different ways to walk in forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't just a one-time here or there thing. Sometimes we have to walk in forgiveness, because we have people who we interact with in our daily lives who, may or may not say things or that hurt our feelings or whatever. And, not all the time are we going to confront that situation or say something about that situation because it's just not in the cards to do that. It's no reason to do that. And so you just walk in forgiveness. You just walk and you just let it go. And some people, it's hard for people to do that. For me, because I'm a little passive, I can do that. But you have to kind of push me, really kind of get under my skin before I kind of snap at you or say something to you. So You have a wonderful day, Elmer. Yeah, I heart pain. It was a tough situation to deal with. Um, Another situation I had to deal with was, and this involves mental health also, um, I believe forgiveness is a part of our mental health, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when you don't forgive, and that anger and those emotions, oh, look at my eyes, they're all puffy. When that anger and emotion, build up, it starts to affect you emotionally and mentally. Um, Anger and bitterness, you start to assume things. Your assumptions become facts versus facts coming first. Um, you know, so who has dealt with mental illness? Let's talk about anxiety today. I have suffered from anxiety since I was a child. I can literally pretty much tell you why and where my anxiety and when it started. Um, let me drop my link so I can go smoke a cigarette. It's time to smoke a cigarette, guys. Let's see.
Hey guys. Okay. Give me 3 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back. Okay, let's see. Let's go back up so I can see what everybody's saying. Um, Anxiety is forever, it seems like. I have to deal with anxiety, PTSD. Yes. Yep. Same here. Depression, addiction, and anger. I never knew I suffered with depression until I was in my 30s. I was so relieved when my family doctor was able to prescribe me something. I didn't have to go to a therapist to get help. We're going to talk about that. Yep. At the same time. Have a great Monday, Vegas Joker. Yeah, guys. Let's talk about this. Anxiety and PTSD. Oh man, I can remember being a child. My dad, he drank a lot of beer. He was an alcoholic. And I can remember my first, real memories coming to me was as a child laying in the back seat of the car and being so scared because my dad was driving drunk. And why I knew this and how I knew this, I don't know. How I was very perceptive as a child. And I would lay in the back seat and I would fall asleep because my thought process as a child, a 6-year-old child at that, 7 years old, would be, if something happens, let's say have a wreck or something, at least I'll be asleep if I die. That was my thought process. And to this day, I cannot ride and sleep in a car. If we go on a trip, we have to literally stop at a hotel for me to sleep because I cannot ride and sleep in a car. Found out years later that my mom's dad suffered with depression and ended up taking his own life. Back in those days, mental health wasn't talked about. That's right, Sue. My mother suffered from depression, and she actually had a mental breakdown, and they put her in a mental institution here in Louisiana, down south, known as Pineville. And they did shock therapy on her. Yeah, she went through all kinds of stuff, and you're right, it was not talked about back in those days. It was not a good thing. People thought you were crazy and they just didn't talk about it. It was sad. And I've had other instances that has caused me to have severe PTSD. At the age of 17, my child and I were physically assaulted and threatened that they would kill us. And I had to go to court to physically appear in court and testify against them because of the assault that they did against my father and me. And one of them was my stepdad. And so in all this, my mother stood and watched all of this happen in a corner, and it killed me. Not only, was it crazy what I was going through, but it was crazy that my mother was standing there being a witness and not doing anything about it. While I held my 15-month-old son in my arms, who screamed at the top of his lungs. And, from then on, I have had issues sleeping. Even as a child, I had issues sleeping, but these things just got worse and worse, just made it worse. Okay, Kai, so you never suffered depression or anxiety, but I definitely have anger issues since I was a child. I've learned to control it better. Yeah. Dagmar, could you drop Quick Vic's link, please? I'm just now seeing that Quick Vic. I'm sorry. Drop your way. Yeah, she'll come your way from Belgium. Casa, I had anger issues growing up because we were told just to forget about whatever happened and it would go away. We weren't told how to deal with our emotions. Yes, that is so true. We were told to just shut it up. Children were to be seen and not heard, right, Sue? Um, and this is so sad because we missed out a lot. We missed out a lot. Um, yeah. So, who takes medicine for anxiety, and how does your anxiety present itself? For me, I'll tell you, one of my anxieties is riding in a car right now, and so it has kind of left me being at home all the time. Yeah, yeah, I heart pain. Don't be so don't be so sensitive. Yes, slap and tickle. You used to have real bad anger issues when you were younger. Yes, you did, honey. But you're so much better now, aren't you? Yeah, I have anxieties about all kinds of stuff. Um, I used to take medicine. I used to take Klonopin, and I realized after a while of being on it that it just didn't do anything for me. I was still having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and so I took myself off of it. It took you into your adulthood to realize that my parents did the best they could given the way they were raised. Yep. My mom dealt with mental abuse. My dad went through all different types of abuse. I startle easily too. I heart pink. Yeah. So I totally get that. I do not hold my parents. My parents did the best they could with what they knew. And just like I did the best I could with what I knew. We all go through this life only doing the best. Some people do the best they can. Some people just don't give a shit and they don't want to teach their children anything. And I have a problem with that. But, it's not my place. But hey, Nunzio, welcome. My dad went through types of abuse too. And my mother, when she suffered in her 20s from a nervous breakdown, I think, it was just glossed over. Nobody wanted to ever talk about it. It was something that was so secretive and hidden that even to the day that, my grandmother died, she really just never wanted to talk about it. Now, my mother, she told me all about it. She told me how she had to, go through shock therapy and they had her on all these different kinds of medicines. But she woke up one day and she just couldn't speak. Um, she couldn't form sentences. She says she could hear herself in her mind, but she just couldn't form the sentences. She couldn't talk. Um, and to be honest with you, I think I had like a little mini nervous breakdown whenever my mom died. Um, I was taking care of her and I ended up just getting so sick. And, anxiety can make you physically ill. Um, Anxiety can cripple you. And a lot of people don't understand it, especially if they've never been through it. Um, but yeah, I think I had a mini nervous breakdown because after that, there's still some things that aren't the same. I still don't leave my house like I used to. Um, I don't go grocery shopping. Everything's delivered. Or mom or Larry goes out to get it. Uh, It's hard for me to attend things, for my grandchildren because it requires me to get out and be amongst people. I ran out of anxiety meds and keep putting off making an appointment. I weaned off my depression meds a year ago. That was a mistake. I needed again, but I just felt like I needed to feel. Oh, I heart pink, honey. I feel you on that. I've weaned myself off too, and it took me like 2 months to come off all of my medications. And when I finally went for help again, they put me on some medication, and it took a little while to get it right. But now I'm on two medications, two antidepressants that are really good, and I'm doing really good mentally. Um, I think, the healthiest that I've been in a while. So I encourage you that if you feel like you need it, um, there's nothing, the thing is that even with depression medication, you can feel your emotions. It's just that they keep them in, the medicine keeps it in check to where you're not, so over in the ditch, or, you know what I'm saying? Um, I want to take that stigma off of people thinking that, you have to go through life and never take medicine, for depression. That is not something that I believe. Um, I, it took me a long time to go get some help, but after my son died, I had to, because, I didn't want to participate in life. Um, I didn't want to be here, and I wasn't suicidal, but I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to participate in life. And so when they did put me on medicine, and I was able to see a psychiatrist and a therapist, and my therapist is great. I talk to her once a month, and I do it through Zoom call. That way I don't have to leave my house. And, you know, it was the best thing that I ever did, was getting back on medicine and YouTube, getting on YouTube. I'll just be honest. I may be a little addicted to YouTube, but YouTube helped me. Um, and that's why I started these live chats. I started my channel just to start a channel. I just to um, document what we're doing here at the homestead. Um, and now I feel like God has led me into the live chats, because I really enjoy this. It's something that um, is therapeutic for me, and it helps me. And I hope that it helps other people as well, to open up and to feel safe, and, you know, to talk about these issues that a lot of people don't want to talk about. You use your creativity as an outlook for my escape from reality when it comes to past trauma. Yeah. See, even my son says, Slap and Tickle says, yes, YouTube has helped you a lot. Um, yeah, Slap and Tickle has seen me go through my depressed days, haven't you, baby? He saw me in the bed for years. Um, he's seen me go through a lot. That's my baby. Yeah, I was in the bed for a long time. I didn't, and because of that, my body was in so much pain. I have suffered from, all over body pain for years, and I still have some body pain. But now that I've gotten up and I've started participating in life more, and moving my body and being happy and being in a different mental state, has really helped with the pain. Now, if I stand all day and I'm canning and stuff like that, the pain is there. Um, or when it's supposed to rain, I feel pain, but it's not like it used to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with my mental state. You've been on meds for over 30 years now, and it has helped. I tell people I have to go through my range of emotions and get it out of my system, then I can better deal with this. I'm the same way, Sue. I am the same way. I have a range of emotions on different things, and I just have to go through them. My husband of 30 years knows that, because there are sometimes I will talk his ear off about the same damn thing, and he'll just be like, "What the hell? Can you shut up about it already?" But it's like, I've got to get it out, you know? You're still here listening and watching with the chat with one eye. Thank you, Dagmar, sweetheart. As long as that one eye and the stink eye, Sue says. I love you, Sue. You always make me laugh. Everybody hit that like button. Everybody hit that like button. It's not for me, it is for you. The like button is to get me into your algorithm. It shows YouTube what you like, and it'll send you things that you like. Okay, guys? So what's everybody's plan for today? What's everybody's plan for today? What's everybody cooking for dinner? Give me some ideas. We're going to have corned beef. We're going to make some corned beef, and we're going to have Reubens. We're going to have some Reubens with some chips. That's what we're going to have. I love Reubens. The only thing I don't like is Thousand Island, so we use mustard and sauerkraut and Swiss cheese instead. But I love a good Reuben, and Mom's going to wake up today and she's going to make fresh rye bread. And oh my gosh, the house is going to smell so good. I love when she makes fresh bread. You do use French dressing, Gina? Yeah, I know a lot of people do. I mean, I know that's the way it's supposed to be, but I just cannot stand Thousand Island because I don't like sweet pickles. I like bread and butter pickles, but I don't like sweet pickles. I don't like sweet relish. So we always use the mustard. But yeah, I love a good Reuben. I'm so excited because I'm y'all know I wake up hungry. I wake up thinking about food. So, guys, let me ask you guys, is 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. a better time? I think 7 a.m. I've got a lot of people, a lot of more people in here that can be able to join. My plan is to get up and clean the house. I don't know what I'm cooking yet. That sounds amazing. I'm pulling video footage. Rockin' Bowl has had several car break ins this past week. Oh, wow, Slap and Tickle. Yeah, find out who did it, baby. I really enjoy this topic today. It helps me better understand what my sister goes through daily. She has really bad anxiety. She takes meds and drinks her tea. Okay. Yeah, Casa, there's a lot of people that don't suffer from this, but they do have people that they know. And I really hope that this does help you. And we'll talk about this more. We will talk about this more because, this is a part of my life. This is the life that I live every day. And it's something that I have to deal with every day. And there's a lot more to mental health. So we will be talking about mental health a lot. So every Monday, we will touch on mental health, guys. And I go to sleep thinking about food when I take something out of the freezer. Me too, Gina. Me too, Gina. I've always been one to I'll make a full menu out a week ahead, and we'll buy groceries. And that way we only get what we need for the week, um, according to the menu, and I go by the menu. 2 p.m. is perfect for you, Dagmar. Is that 7 a.m. my time? This is a good time, Gina? Okay, good. It's not too early. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that it's not too early. But I want to catch you guys, at a good time, Sweetie's bugging to go outside. I know what will happen. I'll get all bundled up, take her out. She'll only want to stay out for a couple of minutes. Yeah, so Miss R, wow, I have something to say to so many of you. My story is wound up in what so many of you have talked about. Oh, yes, Miss R. Good morning, honey. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. I'm so interested in hearing your story. Every Monday, we're going to talk about mental health. Okay, Miss R? I really think that the stigma needs to be taken off of mental health. There's too many people that don't talk about it. Um, and it really needs to be addressed, whether it's from anxiety, depression, fear, PTSD, uh, it could be schizophrenia, it could be anything of that nature. We can talk about it. Can someone drop Sue's link, please? Let me go back inside, y'all, and I'll see if I can drop it real quick. Give me a couple of seconds.
Okay, guys, I'm back. Let's see. Okay, guys. Um, oh, thank you, Dagmar. Thank you. I was fixing to try to do that once I got to my phone again. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yes, Miss R. Yes, that is something that we will touch on because my son he suffers from depression also, like me, and I'm bipolar. Um, and so I take medicine, and it's depression manic. And so um, let's see, looking back on it, alcoholism and addiction were only my maladaptive ways of coping with my mental health. Yeah, I'm yes, mental health takes on many different things, and addiction is one of them for sure. um oh, pecan praline, oh my gosh, I love pralines, Gina. Oh, Gina, pretty soon, today we're getting the ingredients for me to make the the graham cracker crack. So I'll be putting that link, or not the link, but I'll be posting. Either I'll do a video or put it on my community post. I'm so glad recovery became a thing in my lifetime. Otherwise, I'd be electroshocked or worse, like the old days. Yeah, see, I was talking about that earlier. My mother had a nervous breakdown in her 20s, and she received shock therapy. Um, yes, everyone sub to Sue, and let's get her up to 100 subs, please. That would be great. She's at 84 right now and growing. Oh, fried Brussels sprouts. Yummy. I love Brussels sprouts, but I'd love to taste them fried. You'll have to share, Miss R. I'm so glad you joined us today. So give me some topics, guys, for mental health, and I'll write them down. That way next Monday I can pick a topic and we can talk about it. Like I said, there's so much that goes into mental health, and I want to touch on what you guys are dealing with or maybe need to talk about. Seasoned olive oil, enough said. Okay, got you, Miss Sarah. I know what you're talking about. I can do that. Yummy. They're like little cabbages. I just love them. Absolutely love them. And Miss R will be having the chats at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Um, and I'll be talking about a lot of different topics. I really want to touch on. Uh, I'll give you guys some ideas. Hold on just a second. I wrote it down. Let's see. We could talk about mental health, which we could talk about, things that'll help, like journaling, different exercises, breathing techniques. We can talk about things like that. We could talk about the results of depression and anxiety. We could talk about what your diagnosis is. We could talk about how to manage your depression or manage your manic episodes or manage anxiety attacks. Addiction, recovery. I'm definitely going to touch on grief. This is a subject that I do not hear talked about, and I feel like grief is almost like mental health. It's one of those subjects that is so hard to touch on and talk about because it's so sensitive, um, and it's emotional, and people don't like to think about death, and so I want to give grief front stage on the platform, so we can delve into it and really lift each other up and talk about it and be there for each other. Um, I know that it helps me. And then just some other things, love, life, and friendship. Let's not forget that we have friends and we love our friends, and there's different things that each friend does in our life. And you're not going to always get the same thing from each friend. And that's why it's okay to have several friends. It's okay to have more than one friend, right? Because love can come from many different people in many different ways. So, you never liked your mom's brother. He was always putting my mom down. That was how he was raised. I couldn't be around him when he came to visit, even as an adult, because I knew I would cuss him out. I bet, Sue. Did you know that the Kennedys were not proud of the behavior of their daughter Rosemary, so they gave her a lobotomy? Oh my gosh, really? That is terrible. Oh my. That is just terrible, Miss R. We live in opposite climates, though. Today is the first day I can open the door to the balcony. It is delightfully cool, like 70. And chicks can go out on the balcony. Don't you live in Florida, Miss R? Yeah? Oh, Miami. Miami in the house. First cool day, huh? Yeah, today is cool here too. It feels good. It's supposed to be 69 today. Yeah, I know you are. It's nice to get those doors and windows open, right, so it can air out. Yeah, I heart pink. I've seen the weather down there. It's muggy. We're supposed to be getting some rain here tomorrow, and so it's been. I Heart Pink is down south Louisiana. Where are you again, I Heart Pink? You're near Homa? Yeah. Yeah, my son Slap and Tickle is in Metairie, Louisiana, south I Heart Pink. He's in Metairie. St. Mary Parish. Bottom of the boot. It's chilly there in Aiken, South Carolina, Harry. Yeah, that's where Slap and Tickle is. He's my son. He's in Metairie. I Heart Pink. It's going to be 80 today, Gina. One of your favorite musicians is from Homa. I've got some friends who lived in Homa, but they recently moved to near Arkansas. You spend about 3 weeks in New Orleans each week. Oh, I love New Orleans, Miss R. I can just go visit my son though, and be right there at it. Oh, I hate mosquitoes. We were just talking about those last night. I Heart Pink, me and my husband. I told him I'm ready for it to get real cold so the mosquitoes will go away. Tab Benoit. Mm-hmm. That's right, Miss R. Before my son passed, that's where him and his best friend lived, and that's who I call my son. My son who passed, his best friend, he lives in Metairie, and I call him my son. He helped take care of my son when he was dying, and so he is very special to our family. And he's in the chat now. His Slap and Tickle. He was nasty to my sister when she emailed him to let him know Mom had passed. He was on his boat fishing. He said it was a hell of a way to find that out. Well, I mean, you never know. Metairie is a suburb of New Orleans, yeah. You have family in Kenner? Yeah, I know where Kenner is. Yeah. Slap and Tickle. So you guys, let's lift up the people in North Carolina who are without power today. Um, we ask for strength for them to get through this, and the foresight to see what they should do, um, and for help to come. And this should be a lesson learned for all of us, that we never know when the lights are going to go out. We never know when the shit may hit the fan. And it's always, always good to be prepared. It doesn't mean that you have to know how to can and put food away. You can always have non-perishable items on your shelf, canned goods and meat in the cans, things of this nature, to where you can make you a meal. Uh, oh, that's good. That's good, Miss R. I hope you accomplish it too. Are you developing your channel? If so, I can have somebody drop your link. Yeah, sometimes so. There's people in our lives that there's no way to please them. It's sad, but I Heart Pink, you have a beautiful Monday too, honey, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning. Keep your chin up, girlfriend. All right, everybody. I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm going to get off of here. I want everyone to have a fabulous day. Um, Everybody remember to, you know, think about today's topic of forgiveness and how it affects our mental health. And, you know, I want to use an example. I'll use myself. That's the best place for me to start, right? Um, I have a couple of people in my family that I don't speak to. Um, they're very close to me, uh, family members. I've lost my mother and my brother, and the only other people I have are my dad and my sister, and I don't speak to neither one of them. There are some times in our lives that it comes to a point where things may happen and you have to take a stand for yourself, and that may mean that you don't speak with that person or have communication or relationship with that person. And it's protection for yourself and your mental health. And that has nothing to do with forgiveness. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. Um, I just choose to make a decision to keep myself protected from the negativity and the pain and the hurt that has come from that side. Let's just keep it like that. I'll just say that. One day we'll get into it. I still walk in forgiveness. I still walk in forgiveness. But we have to know that we can't allow people to treat us. Uh, my saying is we teach people how to treat us. And if you allow people to treat you a certain way and they keep doing it and doing it, and you keep allowing it and allowing it, then you are then the problem because you are not nipping it in the bud. Okay. And this takes time and this takes discipline. This takes, time to think to yourself, what are you willing to put up with? Um, so not everything is going to be, peaches and roses and fairy tales and unicorns. And um, sometimes life is hard and we have to go through this life and we have to make hard decisions. And I'm not saying that I will never speak to my family members again. But the pain that has been caused um, is almost irreparable. Um, and like I said, one day we'll get into it. One day I will expound on what I'm talking about. That way you guys can understand more of why I came to this conclusion and the decision that I did. Um, Welcome, Double D. What happened? What happened? Nothing happened. Just my crazy life happened. um, Double D, Mondays are going to be mental health Mondays. We are wanting to get healthy mentally, and let's talk about mental health. I will be on Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Central. I hope everyone will join me for coffee and a good chat. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Again, let's lift up the family of the little girl in Texas that was kidnapped and murdered by a FedEx worker. Let's lift up that family, and I pray over them blessings and peace in the midst of heartache and grief. There is a peace that can be met in the midst of heartache and grief. I have felt it. And I pray that for them, because this is the most terrible time they will probably ever face in their life. And my heart just aches right now for that family. So, goodness. The strongest of all warriors are these two, patience and time. You're right. You're right, Gina. Patience and time. And sometimes time, yeah, sometimes timing is not always in our timing, right? We just have to feel it out. But yeah, keep that families in your prayer, guys. Um, they're going to be facing the hardest thing that they've ever faced in this upcoming week, to bury a 7-year-old child who was innocent. And now she's gone. So, um, yeah, everybody keep them lifted up. And you guys have a wonderful day. Um, until tomorrow, this is Honeybees Homestead with love and blessings to all of you. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Y'all be blessed.